Clowns. Entertainers to many, nightmares to some, but people nonetheless. There is more than just makeup when it comes to clowning. There are positive impacts and negative aspects, but even clowns have had an impact on history here in the Riverside-Brookfield area. As snow blankets the ground at Woodlawn Cemetery on a frigid December morning, it covers an untraditional-looking tombstone. An elephant stands looking over grave markers of those associated with the Showman's League, an organization connecting carnival and circus performers everywhere. Here lies officials of the league, performers, and clowns. Those initially buried here died in the Hammond Circus train wreck. The wreck occurred on June 22, 1918, when a locomotive engineer of Pullman cars fell asleep and ran into the Hagen-Beck-Wallace circus train cars. 86 died and 127 were injured. They were buried at Woodlawn Cemetery. Every year during International Clown Week, clowns from all over the Chicago area come and celebrate the life of those who passed. Debbie Kennedy is a local clown who has visited the Showman's Rest before.
Wow, what an inspiration is that. This whole train wreck happened and a whole bunch of people that were pretty special passed away, and we're honoring them.
Though the circus entertainers who were killed in the crash weren't all clowns, the local clown community still holds a great respect for those who dedicated themselves to the circus and the entertainment of others.
You know, everybody volunteers for that. And so we just go out and celebrate the fact that, you know, over these generations that we all get to be a big part of it and feel bad for our fellow people that have lost it.
Local clowns have more than just an emotional connection. They are able to convene and communicate with each other at local clubs and guilds.
It's just nice to have camaraderie and you tell stories. I mean, even about the little kid that was making the party not so good. And
Clown Mary Zayemba also belongs to a clown guild.
Well, the Clown Guild here, this is kind of like a meeting place for people from all over the city of Chicago that are into clowning and entertaining. We have people from way up in the north side, as far south as 140th Street South, and as far west as Addison. You know, so we get people from all over the city that are interested in clowning. We have a regular business meeting part, and which is usually a few laughs. And we have an education. It could be on balloon twisting, it could be on face painting, it could be on skits. Just basically information that clowns need to become better clowns.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Clown Guild of Metropolitan Chicago's meeting for October 2016 is called to order.
This one I think affects a few of the people in this room. It's called The Perks of Being 60 Years Old or More. Perk number one, kidnappers are not interested in you. We get to share ideas, stories. You know, we can help people that have problems within it. You know, if they have having trouble dealing with some of the people that they visit. You know, basically about 1 out of every 10 people are afraid of clowns, whether they're a child or an adult. So there's ways we have to deal with that to make sure we don't become the quote scary clown. It's basically, you know, we take our time dealing with them. Like if it was a little child over there, and I see that the child is crying or going to get upset, I will usually like cover my eyes, or I will just back away. And over the time I'm there, I will make eye contact with the child. And eventually they will usually come over and allow me to give them a balloon or whatever I'm doing that particular day.
Well, I showed him a picture of my flyer. I brought my flyer out to him and talked to that child, and the mom says, I wish I would have told you a lot sooner that he was afraid, and the child warmed up to me.
How did you deal with that adult?
Basically, I just look at the people that said, "Go, come over and see my friend," because that's usually what happens. You know, they want you to come over and see the friend who's deathly afraid of clowns. So usually I belittle them and I back away. I will never go and deliberately scare a person that's afraid of clowns.
I think adults really get afraid. I don't know, but adults, if they have that ingrained fear from a long time, I think it could be worse.
Tonight, a story we've been talking a lot about. Creepy clown sightings around the country, and now a new clown has surfaced.
Reports of people dressing as clowns in several states trying to lure children and adults into wooded areas.
Flashing green lasers and enticing kids with large amounts of money.
It scares me. It scares everybody because that's your child, that's your baby.
Creepy clowns running around cemeteries and city streets scaring people. There have been reports around the country, and now here in Chicago, too.
So what is he doing right there?
Waving at us, slowly. I'm freaking out.
In October of 2016, videos of clowns harassing and chasing people became viral, further instilling the negative views toward clowning. To the local clown community, the videos had a big impact.
We try, like I say, never to scare anyone. And unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with the feedback on this, because I know of people that have had appearances canceled because they're afraid of having a clown at a thing.
And all of a sudden it gets worse and worse and people are getting beat up and you're like, I mean, it literally made me cry. I'm like, are you kidding? Now we can't even be clowns because there's this big terror, like almost like terrorists out there, you know, ruining that whole aura of happiness into being frightened every day.
Just be careful when you're out there. Just know your surroundings, know who you're with. If you go with 2 people at a time, which would be helpful.
In some cities, villages, towns, whatever you want to call it, that has banned clowning.
Yes, and I understand there's a killer clown movie coming out, and this is probably a PR stunt from the movies.
If you've seen, I didn't see that movie, I don't see scary movies, so I guess if you've seen that, maybe that would freak you out somehow.
The movie that's coming out is a remake of the movie It by Stephen King. And the clown that they're going to be redoing is Pennywise. Pennywise, when it was done by Tim Curry, was a great looking clown. I mean, he was phenomenal looking, very clean. This clown is gruesome and dismal and dark all the time.
And sometimes I don't even think that the news media cares less what we really do.
In order to prove that clowns are not as society depicts them to be, 3 clowns volunteered to explain and present their costumes, makeup, and skits. Here we have Kiwi, Popcorn, and Max.
I want people to know that those are not clowns. Just because we don't wear masks, and that's what that was. Those were Halloween masks. It'd be the same as I put on a lab coat doesn't make me a doctor. Just because you put on a mask doesn't make you a clown. Carol Burnett, Lucille Ball, Jerry Lewis, Red Skelton, all these people. They're clowns. In fact, Red Skelton made the comment, a lot of you kids won't know who Red Skelton was, but he was a famous movie, theater, television star. Made the comment that the greatest compliment ever paid him was when somebody called him a clown.
When it comes to charity, clowns like Debbie experience a great sense of joy.
And I had tears in my eyes. It's really sad that people are so lonely, and you know, just to see somebody smile and interact in the kids' faces.
For other interactions, however, the emotions are inexpressible.
We're doing pediatrics intensive care. There was a little girl there that was dying, that's sad to say. She's about 7 years old. And she hadn't talked to anybody in 2 weeks. She just laid stared. But the mother said she wanted me to go in, and my partner and I go in and see her. And she's just staring at the ceiling. We talked to her a little bit, and I said, you know, we love you, and you know, we hope you, do what the doctors tell you and everything. We put a little teddy bear in her crib, and as we're walking out, she turns her head and says, thank you, clowns. Well, the nurses started to cry, the mother started to cry, we started to cry. 3 days later, the little girl died. And to think that I could have that kind of an impact on anybody's life. People say, when do you give this up? So the day my life comes to an end, I won't give it up till then.
But going to the hospital, like Kiwi said, it's a very rewarding experience. You know, you never know when that one little person you talk to is going to make their day, or at least make them forget about the aches and pains they have for a little while. So that's one of the reasons why we're so upset with these other so-called clowns, that they're trying to ruin our reputation. And we really love what we do, and we do our best to do it the best way possible.
Through makeup and costume, clowns define themselves. They find their personality, and they find what they love to do the most.
And, you know, particularly for a young person, you know, once you put that makeup on, you don't have to be yourself anymore. You can be a completely different persona and go out there and just enjoy yourself.
Some people would say, oh, I'm going to go into this character, and it's me. And if I'm going to talk to a child, I'm going to talk to the child the same way as a clown. My voice will go up a little bit, you know, whether I have makeup on or whether I don't. And if I don't have makeup on, the kids are going, oh, are you a clown?
That's like the inner you, and maybe you don't always, you know, maybe I'm a little bit shy to come out like that, although friends would say I'm not shy. But I mean, just to make that part of you come out and people listen and people stop and watch.
Let's see. No.
You moved elbow.
Third time for sure. Oh. Oh. Thank you very much. Thank you. I truly, I'm not supposed to see that.
In addition to independent performances, clowns can participate in competitions and conventions. They are scored on their costumes and skits. Clowns are also eligible to be enshrined in the Clown Hall of Fame.
Well, in this Clown Hall of Fame, it's basically accumulating points from competitions. You have to get first place, second place, third place. If you get a total of 15 or 20, I think it's 20 points now, then you qualify to go into the Hall of Fame. But there is a full-fledged Hall of Fame in Wisconsin, that these are the people from all over the world.
I was talking with somebody today about the Hall of Fame and stuff, how much easier it is now to get into the Hall of Fame than it was years ago. I mean, years ago you had a lot of competition, so you had, by having a lot more competition, it was harder to get your points. Now, you see, you have some of the younger kids up there and stuff like that, they're doing it within 2 years.
As the new generation of clowns come in, the popularity of clowning seems to be declining.
I think it's become a bit of a problem. What do you think, Popcorn?
Well, my granddaughter doesn't like anybody at her school to know that she does it, which means, yeah, there probably is a little stigma to it. But, you know, the opposite side is, you know, you do so much good and bring so many smiles.
I guess they had like 50-something clowns in this club at West Suburban, and it was really dwindling down, and now we have some new clowns coming in, but there was a point where we were like, oh, you know, how do you get clowns to come and be clowns? It seems like a losing generation of things.
The kids aren't coming up, you know, the families aren't bringing them in.
We're all over now.
Nowadays, it's a lot harder to take your child out of school. You know, it's not like the old days. And so, I mean, where we're going to get the future of clowning from, I don't know.
Taught me to bring joy to people. People need joy, and The smiles, you could smile in any language, and anyone, if you do a show, understands, no matter if they speak English or not.